Okay, we back. It's your boy, the author Chris Jackson. Y'all know the book Must Be Me. Listen, last time, we were talking about Ruth, so we gonna dig in a little more into Ruth. But what I want to tell y'all something real quick is about Ruth that y'all may not understand. Is that well, we started the second chapter. This is just my own personal belief from me reading the Bible. Y'all think her and Naomi took that trip from Moab to Bethlehem and didn't have no conversation? Me personally, I think they had a conversation about Boaz. Because the very first verse in the next chapter, they talked about how Elimelech had a relative that was a near kinsman to him, and his name was Boaz. Now, the very first verse, which makes me believe that they had a conversation about it. And then in the verse after that, Ruth went on to tell Naomi, well, let me go out here and glean the fields after him on whose side I may find grace. So, this is already something premeditated, preordained, already set up. Just so y'all can understand now, Ruth then went out to the field because she already knew where Boaz's field was for the simple fact Naomi done told her. Naomi done let her see what his field would look like on the way there. She like, while they would come back, that's Boaz's field. She like, who's Boaz? He's near kinsman that was related to my ex-husband, and he can keep the heritage going, keep the lineage going, because that's what wealth is. Like I told you before, wealth is not about money. It's about your namesake. It's about your name being influenced, about your family having legacy later on. Like Abraham is wealthy, because we're basically all descendants of Abraham. So he's technically the wealthiest man probably ever lived, and nobody would ever understand. Riches, maybe not, but wealthiest, yes. Now, she done went out to the field with the other reapers, but she's gleaning. Gleaning, just so for those of you who don't know, gleaning is when you pick up the leftovers. Like she said, while they were harvesting corn, so when they pull the corn off the stalks, some fall to the side. So she done got a small like that and a little barley, whatever they was harvesting at the time. She has her own little knapsack, and she's just picking up what fell over. She's not actually reaping like they are, taking things off the stalk or picking it or whatever else. She's actually just getting the leftovers. So now Boaz then came and like, Lord be with you. They like, Lord bless you. So he sit back, talk to his guys. You always got to have supervisors, foremen that's out there with people in the fields. They watching them, make sure the reapers doing their job, and they make sure they ain't thirsty, they ain't tired. They hear helping one another. There's camaraderie in Boaz field. There's love in Boaz field. There's things moving real smoothly, because most times when the boss walk up, people want to work harder, but they was already working anyway, because you got to remember this. When you work for somebody worthwhile, you're going to do more. When you work for somebody who's admiring you, or for lack of a better word, who's respectful, thank you, that's what I'm looking for. For a person who's respectful of you and what you do, you're going to give them 100% even when you don't feel like it. So I believe personally that Boaz had a rapport with his workers, because when he greeted them, they greeted him like, oh, that's my man Boaz walking in, like, what's good? Like, it's just from the verbiage used, it didn't go into detail, but I feel like they was excited when he came on the scene, like, that's Boaz, like, that's Boaz. It wasn't about the money. I feel like it's about their camaraderie, about the relationship, because later on down in the scripture, we're going to find that after work, Boaz didn't like to chill, hang out a little bit, have a little something to sip, whatever they dip their little parts, they have something to eat, they have like a little soiree type thing after work. So in other words, he bringing them together, they making a plan for the next day, they getting it in. So Boaz just happened to notice Ruth. And it wasn't that he just happened to notice Ruth. My thing is, Boaz had a rapport with the people with the reapers. So now, with that being said, Boaz happened to see her because she doesn't look like anybody he's already employed. That was the difference. He seen somebody he had never seen before, so he asked him, he said, whose damsel is this? The word damsel basically in the Greek would mean whose young lady or whose young woman is this? So that way, so y'all get a clear understand what we're talking about. So, if people came and told him, said, no, that's the Moabite woman that returned with Naomi when she came back from Moab back to Bethlehem. And he said, they was like, man, she been grinding, like she been out here gleaning all day. Like she stopped a couple times to get something to drink. We was like, you good? She was like, yeah. So she was grinding the whole day. Ruth was getting it in, but what Ruth was doing was exerting herself, forgive me for that, and showing what she's capable of. See, the thing is, we always talk about what you want somebody to bring to the table, so she starts showing that what she brings to the table. When God made Adam and Eve, just so real quick so y'all understand this, he made Eve as a helpmate. Ruth was proving her worth as a helpmate. Some of y'all grab it, some of y'all don't. Think about that for a moment. We're going to let it keep moving. So now, by her being out there working like that, and the thing is, she wasn't getting any pay. She was working for the scraps But let know whatever I can get, I'ma go get. I'ma go get her. I'm a hustler. I'm a grinder. I'ma make it happen. Cause Naomi back home, Naomi's elderly, so she depended on me. Like, she don't have no husband, she don't have no sons. And I wasn't finna leave her stranded because her guy became my guy. So like I told you, she had a relationship with God. So that's what's transpiring. So now, and so he get a chance, you know, Boaz like, hey, how you doing? I'm Boaz. She's like, I'm Ruth. I came back with Norm. He said, yeah, I heard it. She said, so, and she asked him. Now remember I told you in the second verse, she said, I want to go and glean after the field of him on whose side I may find grace. She asked Boaz, why did I find grace in your sight? Boaz told her, because I heard of all the things that you've done for Naomi since your return. In other words, your integrity spoke volumes of you. Your character spoke volumes of you. Your morality spoke volumes of you. Like, they told me about who you were. They told me about you took this journey back here to a land you don't know, to a people you've never been, but you said your people should be my people, your God should be my God. And wherever you die, that's where I'm going to die. Where they bury you, that's where I'm going to bury me. They're going to bury me the same. Your integrity showed that you worthwhile. So Boaz like, okay, I see. And I'm going to tell you another thing that I think, personally. Forgive me for that, y'all. I think Ruth was actually fine. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, you know what I mean? Because I feel like she might have been out in the field. True enough, she stood out because she was someone he had never seen. But I think not just because her physical appearance stood out too. I think Ruth was fine. I ain't going to say she was fine as Bathsheba, because the Bible said Bathsheba was very beautiful. But I think Ruth was beautiful too, because I think Boaz was kind of low key, like he feeling her, like, okay, I see you, young Ruth. I'm checking you out. I feel you know, like you looking all kind of fly today out there. She probably out there swinging her hair, you know, a little sweat glistening off her. She gleaning, looking back at Boaz, don't giving him a couple looks, but they done had a little small conversation, and she realized he's a man of integrity too, because while she's working, she's realizing all these people out here working for this man in this field, but nobody's complaining. That's one thing he didn't say, because the Bible, God tell you if something ain't right. When people complain about something, he talk about the complaining. You never seen one part in that verse or in that chapter where it said somebody complaining. That right there, to me, speaks of Boaz's integrity, of his character. But y'all got to dig into this word like I dig into it. I want to understand. So now they done had their little conversation. And so she go back, he's like, okay, you make sure you thirsty, you need anything, you good, you straight? She like, I'm good, I'm going back out here to go finish gleaning. He like, do your thing. So he tell the rest of them, he said, hey, he gave charge. In other words, I gave a commandment to all my servants, like, hey, don't let her go to no other field, keep her with our reapers, but check this out. Y'all be cool. Don't worry about it. I'm going to deal with her personally. In other words, I'm going to lock that in. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put my bid in already. Some of y'all might be feeling rude, but don't worry about that. I already got that covered. I'm gonna shoot my shot. So he even told her afterwards, like, I told my servants to make sure, you know, they left stuff before you fall, but I told the young men to give you space. In other words, I want to get to see what's gonna happen between you and I. So, you know, after the gleaning day was over, they done reaped everything, and they done come back to like a little hut, a little house or barn or whatever they come back to, and they sit back. And they got like little vinegar and stuff like that. And they take their bread and they dip it in and they eat. You know, like I said, Boaz throw a little soiree every day after work. So they kicking it, they partying, they eating and sipping a little bit. So then she got some, but he like, okay, give her a little more. He fill it up. You know, give her a little extra just to take with her, because she like, you know, she's sitting there thinking like, dang, okay, I'm feeling Boaz. And I like the way he set everything up. I like the way he run things. I like him as a man, because he's showing what a man does. A man's going to take care of everything and how it's supposed to be. See, y'all got to read it like I read it. I look for stuff in there to make sense to me, because I have to have it explained to me by my shanana so I can understand. So that's my whole goal, to explain it to you how it's brought to me in my spirit. Now, at the end of the day, the barn time is over. They kicking it. They cool. Now, the men of the village will sit back. You know, they going to sit back and chill. Now, they finna have them a little sip or something, because, you know, he didn't say, God said don't be drunk with drunkenness. He didn't say you couldn't drink. People take that out of context. Now, if you want to go out and just go get slapped and can't move, that ain't what he's talking about. But if you have a glass of wine, if you have you a shot or beer, whatever you choose to do, he didn't say there was nothing wrong with that, but he said don't do it in excess. That's the whole thing. So back to the point, Ruth and Valley ventured back home. And so Naomi, even though she had already told her and showed her the field, she asked her, and whose field did you glean today? She said, you know, I came into the near kinsman of the relative Boaz. She's like, God be with us. Basically, God done showed me favor anyway. Even though when y'all remember, she came back into me, called me Myra. I came back, I ain't got nothing left. I got my daughter-in-law, but I ain't got nothing left. But she realized God is showing her favor. So, we gonna stop it right there, because this right here, what we just talked about, was the encounter. That's Ruth meet Boaz. They having a small conversation. They getting to know each other just barely, but it's gonna get better, y'all. So listen, y'all already know it's always love. Y'all know. Grab your copies. Go to Author Chris Jackson YouTube channel. Check me out. Subscribe and like. We gotta build all up so we can build this platform bigger. Again, it's always love, and it must be me. It must be me. Well, it must be me. Always love. Peace.